In 1974, the Jamaica Movement for Adult Literacy, JAMAL, was launched, addressing illiteracy and giving adults the chance to develop essential reading and writing skills. This program was a pivotal step in promoting lifelong learning and boosting national development. 51 years later, has Jamaica's literacy improved? Let's explore the pivotal part of individual, national, and global advancement among the Jamaican people and the role of literacy since then to now.
The Jam Fam family. Jam Fam, come hang with me. Yeah.
Hello, Wagwan. Big up yourself, whether you're there yard or you're there abroad. Welcome back to another episode of Life with the Jam Fams. Now, on today's episode, we're going to be looking at Jamaica's illiteracy problem and just trying to get an understanding of it and how it's evolving and developing, and whether we're making enough progress as we should, and where possible to help to identify some of the problems in not achieving the level of literacy that we should be attaining as a nation. Jamaica's illiteracy rate can be seen as a complex issue. Many believe that it is rooted in historical inequalities, economic challenges, and educational disparities. The whole point of the JAMAL program in 1974 was to address these complex issues and make lifelong learning an acceptable part of Jamaican life, and at the same time educate people and eliminate illiteracy and its resulting dependency and stagnancy that can be experienced in families across the country. The ideology was that educating adults, some of whom were parents, will be empowering for their generation and ensure they see the benefits for education, literacy, and skills for their children as well. Nevertheless, 51 years and several generations later, and Jamaica is still struggling with national literacy. Although the JAMAL program is still in operation to serve those people who are struggling with literacy in adulthood, and the resulting effect from its previous success should be that literate parents are empowered to support the reading of their children, we are still in a position where we have literacy struggles that we need to face as a country. And part of this problem is twofold, really. One is where provision is given and whether or not people are accessing that provision, and two is whether or not people feel that they're in a position where they can adequately access these programs and utilize them in the advancement in their personal life that they need to be achieving. So we're going to look at this in a little bit more depth. On the other hand, though, there are those people who believe that the problem for why we still have this lingering illiteracy is because of those people who have low value for education and lack of accountability of parents and the absence of personal agency to ensure that they access school provisions and other programs that are implemented to make going to school much more possible for our young people. Regardless of the camp that you are in, whether you are on the side of depravity and other challenges that they face, or you're on the side where you think that more accountability is needed, the reality of it is that as a nation, we have a grave problem on our hands that needs to be resolved. It is believed that over the years, literacy education has been challenged by two closely related problems. Firstly, the absence of a consistent, officially accepted social linguistical based language policy and teaching methodology for transmitting literacy to people who are patois speakers or people who speak Creole in other parts of the Caribbean and other regions of the world. Maybe a greater emphasis on teaching literacy in patois, the people's first language, would increase the likelihood of children and adults reading and seamlessly transition between English and patois and whatever we have that falls in between. Secondly, the resultant persistent of low literacy levels across the population, which after the impactful launch and take-up of JAMAL, it's somewhat disappointing to see the literacy lingered in the generations that followed. Could that be due to the low value that people in rural and inner city still place on education, or could it be the lack of access to the education that they desperately need? Education was always free to Jamaicans up to the academic year 9 or the age of 15, which is what all age schools ran to. And there were secondary school options and training centers for people to have provisions for their own abilities. There were lunch programs, book programs for reading books, and there was also at one point uniform material programs just to increase the likelihood of children attending school. However, there are many reasons children still didn't attend consistently or attend beyond all age school. This includes barrel children whose education weren't prioritized. It also includes children who were needed to work as helping hand on farms in large families, or children who needed to stay at home as nanny for younger children, to name a few reasons. In my neighborhood growing up, there was one of our neighbors who had 5 children. She was married to the father of the last 3 children, and the second of her children grew up with the father's side of family, whilst the first child grew up with her. Now, the second child was educated, and she was sent to a rather good high school and came out to be a successful young lady. The first lived with the mother, as mentioned, and he was a casual visitor to school. Needless to say, he came out as being illiterate. Now, he was pulled out of school for various different things, whether it's to cook for visiting friends, or to help with chores, or going to the farm, or help her while she was giving birth and caring for her younger children. Her third child also casually visited school, and he too was largely illiterate. The fourth child, though literate, missed 1 to 2 days of school each week, and especially when they had visitors coming over, she would need to stay home to clean and tidy up the house and make the necessary preparations, and even help with some of the cooking arrangements that were needed in order to entertain these guests. And this fourth child's extent to education ended at the end of year 9, the academic year 9, which is where all age school finished. Now, I remember oftentimes that family coming and telling my family that they're wasting their money and their resources sending me to school. However, my mother was always hammering home the importance of education to us and how liberating it can be for us if we ensure that we're properly educated, and therefore they were willing to make the necessary sacrifice to ensure that we were getting a good education. So I went off to high school, got my results, and went off to college, and later on went off to the UK. And we heard that the mother had become keen on sending her 5th child to school, and then the child went on to high school. They were able to afford this all along. The mother was literate, as I've mentioned, and the father wasn't. However, they had the means to be able to send their children to school all along. They just saw nothing wrong with them not going to school. However, something shifted with the last child, and going to high school became a statement of wealth and elegance in their minds, and so they indulged, because so many people within our community was ensuring that they send their children off to high school and making those necessary sacrifices. So influence can carry sometimes in community, and so they got on board and started to prioritize the education. Now, this could just be an anomaly, and most families who don't prioritize education simply don't have the means to offer that to their children, which means those children aren't able to achieve their true potential. Now, as parents, it's excellent stewardship to ensure that we're able to give our children the very best opportunity and the very best start in life. We therefore need to ask ourselves, what rethinking do we actually need to do in order to make sure that we are creating the best possibilities for our families? We have a burning problem, and we need to devise ways to solve them between schools, parents, students, government, and private sector. All stakeholders have to play their part if we are to improve and sustain our literacy rate across generations. The key question here is, do you think that Jamaica actually has a literacy problem? Please tell us in the comment section below. And if you think it does, what are some of the ways that you think that it needs to be solved? And how do you believe that being accountable would help with solving that problem? We look forward to reading some of your comments in the comment section below. So as I've showed you, that's the physics one. So it has some pages to write in, and then it has the ruled pages in there like that. So, and then it has the graph pages like that. So we don't have that, to my knowledge, in the UK. No, the kids just write up their report, draw it on there with their graph, and then just submit their work. So this one is the biology. So she has to have a different one that goes off with the SBA work for biology. So they have some blank pages. It has stuff at the bottom from when the teacher marks it and stuff. So they have to, as Eliona was saying, they have to have a draft book. So they do a draft book that they draft up the experiment and stuff in, and then they write it up properly in their actual book. And of course, that one is the chemistry. And that's what it looks like on the inside as well. So they're pretty similar. I don't know if they do what they do in there otherwise, but that's what is the chemistry one. And then she got her textile folder that she did mention that she was going to get. So it's just a folder in which she's going to use those wallets. And then we got the lab coat. Yeah, altogether, that was $13,000 altogether for just those things that you see there. So we've made sure she has all of what she needs. Yay! So she can go to school. Oh, well equipped. Aha, aha, aha. She's like, she just come out of her room, you know. And then she realized it. As she come out, she had the camera. So she's probably thinking, Mommy, why are you recording me? So she decided to walk away and come behind me. And so I decided to turn the camera around. She leg it to the other side of the room. What's up?
To tell you something.
What you want to tell me?
It's about the...
Last time when I was going to the market, I said that I was going to show you the fruits that we bought and the cost, and I didn't get around to doing it. And so I decided that I will do that today. So here we go. So we bought some oranges. I think there's about 8 of them in there because Eliona likes citrus. So she's going to have those, and that's $1,000. And then I got myself half a dozen June plum. That was $250. I got myself half a dozen Leesberry. That was $250 as well. And I got these plantains. So I had these ones, 2 plantain there, and this little twin looking one. That was $350. So normally we would get some other fruits with this. So sometimes we would get combinations of other things. So this time we saw some bananas, but they were the little bumpy bananas. And Eliona decided that she don't want those ones. So we didn't get those. And we decided that we're going to give ourselves a little break from pineapple and grapes just for a little while. So we'll get those when we go next time. And so we'll show you those as well then. But of course, we do buy some of the fruits and vegetables that we use. We use some from our yard, and of course, the neighbors who share with us, or other people in our network that share with us different things that they have that's coming in season, or that they have in their backyard garden, or that they've harvested. So that's always good. So what do you think about these prices altogether from the things that we've spent? Tell us in the comment section below. We look forward to hearing. When I just got here, I shipped some seeds and nuts to myself, and afterwards I bought some online and send them to my sister to take for me when she was coming 2 summers ago, so that I would have them, because I didn't know that I could access them as readily here. And then she came and discovered that they were in Super Plus, and so I keep buying it. So this is my batch that I bought this time. So I bought so this is one set here, the sunflower, and you can see what the price is there. You can see that one there. And then there is this one, pumpkin seed, and the price for that, I bought different batch because they have them tied out. So here's the flax seed. You can see the weight and the price on there. And this one is the chia seed. Again, price, the weight is up there. And this is the sesame seed, price, the weight is up there. And I bought some other bags of the things here as well, so I can have enough. The only one I don't have here, I don't get, is the pine seed. So I don't see the pine seed. I did buy some when I went to the UK. Those have gone up in value significantly since the last time that we bought some and sent for ourselves. I really like the taste of pine seeds, but pine nuts rather, they are called. So I do buy the cashew and the peanuts, but I don't really see the mixed nuts here. So it would be good if I could find it. So if you know where you can find mixed nuts in Jamaica, and especially in the Manchester area, do tell me in the comment section below. I would be very grateful, so I can go there and buy it. But I was so happy to have found these, so that I know I can buy them and get them as and when I need them here. And they do sell them, so they buy them in bulk and sell them like this, retailed, rather than you having to buy a massive bag that's going to be super expensive, and to buy it like that when you don't need that much at the particular time. So it's good to have things like that. So tell us if you know where we can get the mixed nuts to buy. I would definitely want to be able to do that, because I use these for my cereals, for when I have my cereal. So that's it, all mixed up. And I can now use that and some peanuts and some cashew when I'm making my cereal. Do you have cereal? And what do you use to make your cereal? Tell us in the comment below. In case you wanted to know, all of the seeds and nuts that you saw us just mix up came up to $1,846. Yeah, so that's what all of that came up to. So now we can have it to mix and make whatever we want to make. So I use it in my cereal. It can be used in smoothies or whatever things you want to use and put it on. You can put it on your dessert. Yeah, I also, when I make fruit salads, I also use it in there with yogurt and different fruits, and I put those and some nuts and things in there as well, so that I have that good combo of balance, nutrition. And of course, I want to be able to chew, feel like I'm chewing, you know, so that helps too.
The Jam family. Where Irie, living the good life. We're royal, cruising through the West Indies, having fun, enjoying the good life. Jam family, the Jam family, yeah. The Jam family. Where Irie, living the good life. We're royal, cruising through the West Indies, having fun, enjoying the good life. Jam family, the Jam family, yeah. The Jam family.
Thank you so much for staying with us here on this another episode of Life with the Jam Fams. We appreciate having you and we thank you for your consistency. We want to say bye for now. Do take care, walk good, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.